What's up, everyone? Guys, and welcome back to my WrestleMania 39 Night 2 reaction review, whatever you like to call it. It's an interesting show with a lot to talk about. That's all I'm going to say, so let's get right into it. Show opens up with the anthem as always. This time it was performed by Jimmy Allen. I don't know if he's like a big musician in America or even globally, but like I've never heard of him. And we also got the intro video with Kevin Hart again, but updated with the night 2 matches. I forgot to mention this in my review of night 1. And then also Miz and Snoop welcome us to the show again. First match to kick us off was Omos versus Brock, which it exceeded expectations. Expectations though were low. I actually thought this was an alright match. I kind of enjoyed it. It was, just two big men throwing each other around the ring. It was only about 5 minutes, if not less. So yeah, nothing really to complain about there. The match was built around one moment, which was Brock picking up Omos for the F5. Brock tried to pick him up, and Omos his back gave out at first, and continue on, few German suplex, finally gets him up, F5, and gets the win. Enjoyable match, nothing special, but also not terrible. And yeah, the match was building around that one moment of the F5, which it got. And the crowd were actually kind of there for the reactions for both men. Were like, alright. So yeah, nothing really to complain about there. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler then win the women's showcase matchup, of course, beating Natalya, Shotzi, Liv and Raquel, and Chelsea and Sonya. This match wasn't great. This one of the weakest matches of the entire across both cards. Bar the probably 2 surprise matches, this is out of all the announced matches, I'd probably consider the weakest. There's not really much to talk about here. It didn't deliver as much as the men's showcase did in night 1. I didn't really enjoy this. Ronda Rousey made Shotzi tap out to the armbar. I think Ronda, she was injured leading into this match. I think she still might have a bit of an injury. She didn't do anything in the match except get tagged in and get the submission win. I think Shayna Baszler may have also picked up an injury during this match. After Ronda made Shotzi tap out, or did she get in to make the save as someone was about to interfere? I can't remember exactly how, but once she was celebrating with Ronda after the match, she had one of her boots off. She was kind of limping, not putting pressure onto that foot, that leg. So hopefully she isn't injured, or if she is, it's not serious. But yeah, she was kind of not putting pressure on it, and she had her boot off, which makes me think something happened, which is unfortunate. So yeah, we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there. Then Bobby Lashley comes out. I was like, alright, he's been tweeting stuff saying that he wants a match. Let's see if he gets a match, and a challenge happens. Then he came out, he was in his suit, and I was like, maybe he's not prepared for a match. Maybe he comes out, someone interrupts, and it leads to an impromptu match. But no, he just comes out, lifts the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy, and that's it. There's no match, there's no challenge, there's no interruption, there's no angle. And you gotta feel sorry for Bobby. You gotta feel sorry for Bobby. We had the Lesnar match at the Chamber, and that stupid finish with the low blow, which of course gave Lashley the win, which then set up him and Bray, because Brock didn't want to work with Bray, which then Bray gets ill. Apparently Bray's out with an illness, even though he was in LA, which was maybe making me think maybe he's better now and maybe he gets involved, but no. Nothing And yeah, like they couldn't even find a spot for him. It's a bit disappointing. You know, getting the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal as like a consolation. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel sorry. And Bobby Lashley's liked tweets. You can like I literally just checked before I start recording. He still has these in his likes. Actually, like have a look. They are an interesting place. I wonder if this is like kind of like maybe like how he's really feeling, or if he's like just playing it up for the character. You know, like I'm like the almighty one, they left me off the card. You know, they could work it into a storyline, but you know, like some of the tweets here, come on now, y'all gotta do fight Bobby better than that. You know, he isn't doing anything. Shame on WWE at Triple H. You know, it's the disrespect to for, you know, went to Mania just to celebrate a trophy. Yeah, something ain't right. So Bobby doesn't get a match. LA doesn't get a match. We got multiple useless tag matches with no purpose. Pac gets a match. This is bogus AF. Like, these are all Bobby Lashley's liked tweets at the moment. So yeah, let's see how that goes. You know, I could easily just play into the character like, oh, I'm the almighty one, I get left off the card. Like, you know, so like we could see where that goes, like whether it's a shoot or he plays into it. Showdown starts to kind of pick up a bit here with the Intercontinental Championship match. Sheamus, Gunther, Drew. One word to describe this, as you would have expected going into this banger. All three men put on a hard-hitting, unbelievable matchup for the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther's reign has been unbelievable. He's like restoring the prestige to that Intercontinental Championship, and he's doing it with these matches against Sheamus. You know, he did at Clash. They did it again this time with Drew added into the mix. And you know, speaking of Drew, news going around that he ain't reached an agreement with a new contract yet. So is Drew McIntyre on his way out of WWE? Apparently him and Sheamus had a little bit of an embrace after the match. Well, what I don't know if it was shown on TV. I might missed it, but yeah, like actually, let me head back to Twitter and search, because I'm pretty sure Drew tweeted like a waving emoji. Like, is that him saying goodbye? Yeah, look, I have it here in front of me. 3 waving emojis. Like, can you see? You kind of see it there, the waving emojis. Does that mean Drew's on his way out? We'll have to wait and see. There's some, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Let me get back to my notes here. Yeah, hard hitting as you'd expect. All three men's chests were raw right after this. Like, I'm Irish. I love Sheamus since his debut. I really want him to win that Intercontinental Championship. I really want him to get it at WrestleMania and have that moment. Unfortunately, he did not. Gunther retains a pin in Drew McIntyre, I believe. Which, you know, still opens that door for Sheamus to once again come back, challenge Gunther down the line in another singles match. Of course, now with Gunther retaining, I hope he holds that belt to break the Honky Tonk Man's record. You know, they're the only two options I really wanted to see. Either one, Sheamus gets that WrestleMania moment and completes the Grand Slam, or 2, Gunther retains and breaks Honky Tonk Man's record. Sheamus didn't win, so hopefully that means we get Gunther breaking the record. Of course, he deserves it. As I mentioned, a great run as IC champion, restoring the prestige back to that championship. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything there. Bianca Belair then retains her Raw Women's Championship against Asuka. Again, another good match. Bianca Belair, 3 years in a row at WrestleMania, delivering, and once again continuing her bit of a streak now. 3-0 at Mania is Bianca. You know, both had special entrances. Bianca had a group of kids that were dancing to her entrance music and dancing while she made her entrance. Asuka had another cool entrance. People kind of dressed up with Asuka with the robes and the masks. looked cool as well. Finished the match I really enjoyed. Asuka had Bianca in a submission. Bianca, of course, showing her strength, powers Asuka up onto her shoulders. KOD for the 3, and Bianca retains. Yeah, I was kind of hoping Asuka would win, but I kind of get it. You know, Bianca's 3-0 now at Mania. She's been Miss Wrestlemania, really, if you look at the quality of matches she had. First against Sasha, then Becky last year, and now Asuka. It's just, you know, you bring Asuka back at the Royal Rumble with this new kind of Kana-inspired gimmick, you know, kind of refreshed her, revitalized her, and then, you know, she wins the Elimination Chamber. Good, weakish build, you know, where for this match, but they did go out there and deliver. But yeah, now you have Asuka lose. It's kind of like, where to now? You just like reintroduced this version of Asuka, this character, what, at the Royal Rumble 3 months ago. It's kind of like, what now? Where do you go now? And I also feel like with Bianca, she's had the belt for a year. She's already beaten everyone on Raw. If it wasn't a revitalized, like reinvented Asuka, who is it? Like who is there left for her to beat? Who's there that she like hasn't beaten already? Or maybe you like just after last night's result, maybe yeah, split times control. You could maybe go with EO. Maybe, you know, start giving Piper Niven a bit of a dominant push as like a big monster heel. But like I'm pretty sure Bianca's already beaten Piper during this reign. So yeah, I don't really know like what is next for Bianca. Maybe we get something tonight. You know, it's the Raw after WrestleMania. Maybe someone steps up that like we're not expecting. Maybe a bit of like a call up. Maybe Roxanne Perez comes up after losing her NXT championship. I was kind of expecting maybe Indy Hartwell to come up, but of course she won the NXT belt. Then I'm looking here. I just had a quick look on Cage Match. Bianca Belair and Piper Niven never did have a one-on-one match, so maybe Piper is. You could build Piper as that big heel. But what I was thinking of was, you know, they had 3 matches together. One was the Battle Royal at Worlds Collide 2019. They were involved in a 10-woman tag. In March at a house show in MSG, and then Monday Night Raw they had a tag team match, Asuka and Bianca versus Chanting Piper, of course, when Piper stepped in for Carmella. That is what I was thinking of, because I just remembered we already got the moment of Bianca lifting Piper up for the KOD. So yeah, that is what I was thinking when I said yeah, they already had a match. But yeah, so maybe you could build Piper up as to be that one to beat Bianca. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how things go there. Miz and Snoop Dogg then, of course, announced via attendance. It was 81,000. I can't remember the exact number, but it was like slightly over 81,000. Miz kind of blamed Snoop Dogg for his loss last night, saying he wasn't ready and all this stuff, which leads to Snoop bringing in someone to fish Shane McMahon. I'm like, okay, it's like, who's it gonna be? And then here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Shane O'Mac is back and Shane O'Mac is gone. 30 seconds into this match, they're running the international, you know, lock up, leap, sleep, leap. And on the leap, Shane McMahon comes down and tears his quad. 30 seconds in, he really is Vince McMahon's son. Yeah, this was a disaster. Literally 30 seconds in, Shane tears his quad. We call him, you know, fair play to everyone else involved. You know, Snoop gets in the ring. You know, the ref, which was Jessica Carr. Apparently she's the one that like called it Snoop. I don't know if she was being fed in her ear or not, but apparently she was the one that called it Snoop. So yeah, Snoop hit Miz, drops Miz, hits a people's elbow, which is one of the best looking people's elbows that like height he jumped on. He's probably got more height on that than his splash in AEW. And yeah, Snoop then pins Miz, and you know, fair play to Snoop. You know, it's an unfortunate situation with Jane. Literally 30 seconds in, tears his quad. But yeah, fair play to Snoop. He did his best to try to save it, especially as an unexperienced wrestler. So yeah, give Snoop his credit. But yeah, it was kind of like, you know, I don't want to shit on it too much because of the injury, but yeah, like, it wasn't great. I don't know how I feel about like Shane being the one. You know, we have, like I mentioned already with Bobby, you know, LA Knight, one of the most over superstars in the WWE right now, doesn't have anything on WrestleMania. Not a single thing, not a backstage promo, not a segment. Which is very disappointing. And you have like Shane McMahon, you know, even Pat McAfee. You know, it was cool to see Pat, but like I'd rather see Pat come back and do some commentary than wrestle. You know, I feel like the two big surprises weren't that great. You know, they were probably just to pop the casuals. You know, people like, oh, remember Shane McMahon, or oh, Pat McAfee, he's that guy that was in the NFL. Yeah, like I just feel like the surprises they had, like at least there was something, I guess, some surprises, but yeah, I feel like that bit of a letdown. And you know, speaking of unfortunate circumstances, up next, Hell in a Cell between the Demon, Finn Balor, and Edge, or should I say Brood Edge, because you know they selected that alt attire in WWE 2K, and you know the way sometimes the name graphic goes like, John Cena 06, because you're using the 2006 version of John Cena. That is what this was with Edge. His Tron said Brood Edge, commentary were calling him Brood Edge. It was just silly. No Gangrel that was rumoured, which is also kind of a bit disappointing. But Edge's entrance still looked cool. He had like new music for like the Brood part. I think it was Slayer. I don't know what song it was. I just remember seeing people say it was Slayer. And yeah, then of course it transitions into Metalingus. Yeah, it was like a cool entrance for Edge. Balor, of course, doing the Demon again. Got to see the Demon back, or what it was, until they had the Demon lose again. But we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, yeah, Balor had a cool entrance as well. He had like some flares. It was like he was going on a football away day. I seen a tweet and I like retweeted. It was like Edge away. Get the flares for like it was funny. And this was a good match up until Finn Balor got busted open, and it was a nasty looking cut. Like, I get why, but stopping the match kind of took away the momentum, kind of. Like, yeah, they just kind of like all the momentum, all the like energy kind of got sucked out. The crowd were like booing because it was a kind of like a bit of a long period. Like again, I get why they did kind of pause it, because the cut, like I seen, like look at Finn Balor's tweet. I don't want to show it because it is nasty. It is like a nasty cut. Of course it happened when like he got hit with a ladder, but Edge kind of threw the ladder, and it kind of caught Finn. Yeah, it is a nasty looking cut. Where is it here? Yeah, he got an injection with a numbing agent at ringside, and then at ringside during the match received staples to like try and close the wound, which kind of shows how nasty it is. And fair play to Finn, like round of applause for Finn, because he got up, he continued. You know, they kind of went through the rest of the stuff they had planned. You know, Finn did a coup de grace through a table. after getting caught up and, you know, from like one of the platforms that they had for the cameras in the cell, of course, Edge moves and Edge picks up the win with the spear. I get, like, again, personally I would have liked to see Balor, especially as the Demon, considering what happened the last time we seen the Demon. I'm not really for beating the Demon, but like I said, with the injury, with the cut, with the all that, like, it felt to me at least that they had more time, they had more planned. But after the cut, they're like, okay, let's just kind of get through some of this big spots we had planned and take it home. Like, it felt like it was cut short a bit. It felt like they had more. And like I said, after the cut, it was just kind of like, okay, let's get through some of the stuff we had planned and then take it home. Because we kind of went from spot to spot to spot to spot. It didn't really, like, have much time between to kind of like breathe or like build to the next spot. But yeah, like I said, with the injury, the cut, I think Triple H said that like it's just a cut. Like, as far as maybe there was then more tests and stuff, but as far as he knew at the press conference, the only injury that really happened was Shane. So I didn't even think about that when I think about the Shane injury. So maybe Shane isn't injured as well. Maybe it's just something happened. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But again, that was maybe just at the time he didn't have information. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, like, I did enjoy the match. I did enjoy some of the stuff they did, but I felt like they had more and they were ready to give more just after that and after the stoppage to like close so Balor could get stability. And now it kind of just took the momentum out of the match, and it felt off. It didn't it didn't really like feel like it was, it just felt off, like. And you know, I feel like they had to fill some time because they had a backstage promo with Bianca Belair, and you know, it felt like it was filler. Like, I can't, like, she was just like, oh yeah, retained, you know, Asuka, it was a good match, blah blah blah. You know, oh look, here's the like dance people that were at my entrance, yay. You know, it was literally like, you know, one of those digital exclusive promos they do. Like, yeah, they probably just needed filler after, you know, the stuff with Shane happened, and that match probably being cut short. And again, with the like Finn stuff, they probably had to, you know, remove the bloodstained mats and replace them and stuff. So yeah, there's a bit of a gap between that end of that and the start of the next match. But like I said, it's probably they just needed to fill out time. So yeah, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes time, the one I've been waiting to talk about. See, I'm just gonna go through what I have first, then I'm gonna go through my opinion on everything. First off, fantastic match. I really, really enjoyed this match. This was a really, really, really good match. Very enjoyable. You know, Solo Sikoa was at ringside with Roman. He was getting involved. He was stopping Cody. He did it like 2 times. On the third attempt, he goes to hit. Cody was worried belt. He does. The referee kind of, he either hears it or he catches Solo with the belt, and he's like, "Oh, you're out of here." Of course, since it's a Roman Reigns match, then eventually the ref does get bumped, which leads to the Usos getting involved. Super kicks and a 1D to Cody, lays him out. But out comes Sami and Kevin, the new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, fight off the Usos. They hit Roman with a stunner. They hit a Helluva Kick on Roman. The Usos come back in and all 4 men are just brawling away. They're preoccupied. The ref gets back in. Cody crawls for the pin. 1, 2, 2.9. Roman, he doesn't, it's not a big powerful kick out. He just lifts the shoulder. Just barely gets it up in time and kicks out. It was a very, very close near fall. I was like, I wasn't expecting that to be the finish, because if Cody was to win it, he's not going to win it off Sami and Kevin hitting their finish and just crawled it. I mean, he was going to hit a crossroads or something to win. But they did a good job at having that be a late kick out. Like I said, I didn't buy it as the finish, but like they left it very late to kick out. Like, it was still a good job. Eventually, Cody does the bionic elbow. He does the Goldust drop down uppercut. He hits one crossroads. He holds on. He hits another crossroads. He goes for the third, but up comes the wise man, Paul Heyman, distracting the ref. Solo from the crowd. Samoan spike to Cody. Roman hits the ropes. He hits the other up. Spear. 1, 2, 3. That is right. The tribal chief Roman Reigns retains. And it looks like he's heading towards 1,000 days as the Universal Champion. He's had the WWE Championship on top of that for a year. Who can stop the tribal chief? People thought it was going to be Drew at Clash. It wasn't. People said the moment was there with Sami in Montreal. It wasn't. People said that it was time at WrestleMania in Hollywood for Cody to finish the story. It wasn't. Who can stop the tribal chief? I'm more interested in this than I am Cody winning and continuing the story. Of course, I wasn't against Cody winning. If Cody had won, I would have been like, fair. He does deserve it. He was over. I really wanted it to be Sami Zayn, El Generico, one of my favorite wrestlers. I really wanted it to be him. It was, at least we got the moment of him and Kevin at WrestleMania as tag champs in the main event. And yeah, I'm not mad at this finish. And like, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my predictions. You can go back and check. I said it. Cody Rhodes was option 3. Their, original plans with The Rock, that didn't happen. They offered it to Austin. He said no. So of course, then comes Cody. And if it had been either of them, Roman would have retained. And like I said then, I'm more interested to see what would have happened. Who would it be, what would be the plan? And the more I think about it, because everyone, well, not everyone, the majority of people I've seen have been complaining about this online. They're like, oh, bullshit, bad finish, boo, Triple H, bad call, blah, blah, blah. But the more you think about it, as I said, Cody was option 3. And when it comes to the bloodline and how long that's been going, and how in-depth that storytelling has been, and there's amount of small callbacks and all of this on top of it, it didn't make sense for Cody. I get it. Like I said, I really wanted to be Sami in Montreal. But I've been saying all along with Cody, the investment isn't with Cody and Roman, it's with Cody. And his story has been, my dad's Dusty Rhodes. I ain't going to be the first Rhodes to be champion. Now we have that. I feel like there's a bit, now that he's failed, there's a bit more to be invested in Cody when he eventually does win it. I don't think, like I said, I don't think he should have been the one to dethrone Roman. No, at least with Sami, we had that story behind it where he was in the bloodline and, he wanted to be part of the bloodline. He was trying to prove himself to the bloodline, and then Roman kind of like bullied him out in a way. Sorry about that, my camera ran out of memory. I believe I was talking about Sami Zayn and Roman and saying how Sami had the story behind him. He had 9 months of trying to prove himself to the bloodline, if not, and there was that story behind of how Sami learned from the bloodline from within. He could have learned how to take them down. Cody didn't have that. Cody didn't have that investment. Cody's whole thing was, he came back, he tore his pec, comes back again at the Rumble, wins the Rumble, and he's like, my dad's Dusty Rhodes, he never went to WWE Championship, so I'm going to, because I'm Cody Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes' son. And, now he's had that failure, I feel like he makes him a more interesting character. Like, again, he had the crowd support. The crowd was behind him. You could have made a big baby face, but I feel like this long term kind of helps Cody Rhodes as a character, having this adversity to overcome, and plus, like I've saying, original plans, if they go through, you have Austin and Rock, both Roman retains, and I feel like when it's a storyline like the Bloodline and how long that's gone on, and how much detail they've put into everything and all the small callbacks, I feel like they know where they want to end up with this, where things want to go, and yeah, I feel like that was never Cody Rhodes, so yeah, it's. I'm sorry, because I had the interruption, I'm going off. I'm trying to think of what have I already covered, and if there's anything else I want to add. But yeah, I feel like they know where they're going, and it was never Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes was never Plan A. I just feel like, fortunately for WWE, Sammy caught fire, Cody caught fire, and I feel like, now that Roman's beat them, two of the top people you could have made as top baby faces, it is kind of a, well, what now? You could have made a top baby face. You didn't. You stuck to your guns. Well, who's like who? And I've been saying all along, I'm more invested in Sami Zayn. I was more invested in Sami Zayn than I was Cody Rhodes beating Roman. But there's another man that I've been saying all along that I am more invested than Cody Rhodes seeing beat him. And that is a man who recently lost his WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Main event, Jey Uso. Do they do it? Do they do Jey Uso being the one to dethrone Roman? 3 years in the making. The Bloodline started with Roman versus Jey. Jey quit. He joined the Bloodline to protect his brother. Remember Hell in a Cell, the I Quit match. I feel like I said, 3 years in the making. Maybe, I feel like they know where to go. I feel like this is the plan. I feel like it's not Cody, it's not Sami. Then it has to be Jey. If it isn't Jey, then I'm lost. I've no idea. And if it gets to the point where maybe they did miss, maybe they messed it up, maybe they missed it along the line, but Jey's the only real option left that I can think of at this moment in time. If they were, I'm just throwing it out there as a hypothetical, if they keep the belt on Roman for another year, they do Rock Roman at WrestleMania 40. It shouldn't be Rock beating him. No, just no. You could, even if that's the case, you could still have him lose the belt and drop it. Rock Roman doesn't need the belts. It's still a big money match, big match that could main event or night WrestleMania. But yeah, I feel like it has to be Jey now. 3 years in the making. He could be the one to take it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out, of course. But yeah, as I said beforehand, I'm more intrigued, I'm more invested in this than I would be if it had been just Cody winning. Like I said, not against Cody. I do think Cody eventually will be WWE champion. I feel like he does deserve it. It is just a matter of getting there. And like I said, I think the loss kind of helps him become more of a better character, because he's been undefeated since he's come back to the WWE. He hasn't lost. This is his first loss since last year, since coming in a year ago. He went a full year undefeated, of course. He did spend 6-7 months out with injury. So yeah, I feel like this adds another layer to the Cody Rhodes character. And I'm more intrigued waiting to see who is going to be the one to dethrone Roman. And like I said, maybe in hindsight, when we look back in a year's time, and like we could say, yeah, they dropped the ball here. But as of now, I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens on Raw tonight. I may do a reaction or a review tomorrow if some big stuff does happen on Raw. Because it is the Raw after Mania, I'm expecting something big to happen. Maybe a few returns. Maybe a big angle gets set up. So yeah, that's going to be it. Let me know what you thought of everything I kind of discussed. Your thoughts on WrestleMania, your thoughts on Roman retaining. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.